What if everything you thought you knew about London only showed a tiny fraction of the city? Millions of visitors arrive each year with a checklist filled with iconic landmarks: Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, Tower Bridge, but many leave without ever discovering the places where London's heartbeat is loudest. The city's true identity isn't hidden behind palace gates or inside museums. It's scattered across lively market stalls, tucked between conversations with local vendors, and woven into the aromas, colors, and traditions that have survived for centuries. And by the end of this journey, you'll understand why London's markets reveal more about the city than any postcard ever could. Each market tells a completely different story. Some preserve traditions dating back hundreds of years, while others constantly reinvent themselves through music, fashion, food, and art. Together, they form a living portrait of one of the world's most diverse capitals. Walking through these places isn't simply about shopping. It's about stepping into neighborhoods where generations of Londoners have celebrated their cultures, built communities, and shaped the city's character in ways visitors rarely notice. But here's what makes this journey even more fascinating. Every market hides unexpected stories beneath the surface. Behind a simple antique lies a forgotten chapter of history. Behind a food stall is often a family's migration story spanning continents. And somewhere among these crowded streets, you'll discover why London has never stopped evolving. Some of the most surprising places are still ahead, and one market in particular completely changes the way people see the city. Most first-time visitors imagine London through its royal landmarks and historic monuments. It's easy to understand why. These places dominate guidebooks and travel advertisements around the world. Yet ask longtime residents where they truly experience London's personality, and many will point somewhere entirely different. They won't send you to another palace or cathedral. Instead, they'll tell you to lose yourself among the city's markets, where everyday life unfolds in its most authentic form. Markets have shaped London for centuries. Long before department stores and shopping malls existed, these bustling gathering places connected farmers, fishermen, craftsmen, traders, and entire communities. They weren't simply places to buy goods. They became meeting points where cultures mixed, ideas spread, and neighborhoods developed their own distinct identities. Even today, despite London's modern skyline, these traditions remain remarkably alive. What makes London's markets so special isn't just what they sell, it's the people you'll meet along the way. A conversation with a cheese vendor might lead to stories passed down through generations. A baker may share recipes rooted in another continent, but perfected in London. Around the next corner, street performers, artists, and entrepreneurs create an atmosphere that constantly changes from one visit to the next. As you'll soon discover, nowhere captures this blend of history and diversity better than one of London's oldest and most beloved food destinations. Few places capture London's evolution quite like Borough Market. Standing near London Bridge, this famous marketplace traces its origins back many centuries, making it one of the city's oldest trading locations. Yet despite its remarkable history, it never feels trapped in the past. Every morning, centuries-old traditions blend seamlessly with flavors arriving from nearly every corner of the world, creating an experience that feels both timeless and unmistakably modern. As you wander through its narrow aisles, the air constantly changes. Freshly baked bread gives way to the aroma of sizzling international street food. Local cheeses sit beside handcrafted chocolates, while traditional British products share space with recipes inspired by Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Americas. This incredible diversity reflects London's greatest strength, its ability to welcome influences from across the globe while preserving its own identity. But Borough Market offers something far more valuable than exceptional food. It tells the story of how London became one of the world's great cultural crossroads. Every stall represents years of dedication, family traditions, and entrepreneurial dreams brought together in one extraordinary place. And while this market celebrates London's rich culinary heritage, the next destination reveals an entirely different side of the city, one filled with bold creativity, rebellious energy, and a spirit unlike anywhere else in the capital. There are places in London that preserve tradition, and then there is Camden, a neighborhood that has spent decades challenging it. The moment you arrive, the atmosphere changes completely. Historic brick buildings share space with bold murals, music spills into the streets from every direction, and shop fronts seem determined to outdo one another with imaginative designs. It feels less like a conventional market and more like a living expression of creativity, where individuality is celebrated rather than hidden. Every corner invites you to look twice, because there's always something unexpected waiting just ahead. Camden's rise as a cultural icon didn't happen overnight. Over the years, musicians, artists, designers, and independent creators transformed the area into a meeting place for people who wanted to express themselves without following the rules. Its reputation grew alongside London's music scene, attracting visitors searching for something beyond the city's polished landmarks. Vintage clothing, handcrafted jewelry, original artwork, and one-of-a-kind collectibles fill the stalls, each carrying the personal touch of someone who chose creativity over convention. The market's energy comes not from luxury but from originality. What makes Camden unforgettable isn't simply its appearance, it's the feeling that anything can happen. One minute you're listening to a talented street performer, the next, you're discovering an artist painting live or tasting a dish you've never heard of before. Every visit unfolds differently, making the experience impossible to predict. Yet London's personality isn't revealed only through bold self-expression. To understand its connection with history, you'll need to slow your pace and explore a place where every object seems to have a story waiting to be uncovered. At first glance, Portobello Road Market looks like a colorful stretch of lively streets, lined with charming storefronts and busy vendors. But the longer you explore, the more you realize you're walking through one of London's greatest treasure hunts. Here, ordinary-looking tables may hold extraordinary discoveries: vintage cameras, antique watches, handwritten letters, rare books, forgotten photographs, and objects that have quietly survived generations. Every stall feels like opening a different chapter of the city's past. Unlike museums, where history sits carefully protected behind glass, Portobello allows visitors to interact with it in a much more personal way. Collectors search patiently for rare finds, while curious travelers often stumble upon unexpected pieces with fascinating backgrounds. Many vendors know the remarkable stories behind their collections and are eager to share them, turning a simple purchase into a memorable conversation. It's this human connection that transforms browsing into an experience of discovery rather than shopping. Perhaps the greatest lesson Portobello teaches is that London's history isn't confined to famous landmarks or royal palaces. It lives inside everyday objects, family heirlooms, and forgotten possessions that somehow found their way onto these stalls. Together, they reveal a city constantly balancing preservation and change, proving that even the smallest artifact can carry the weight of centuries. And after exploring markets shaped by history, food, and creativity, only one question remains. What is it that ties them all together and defines London's true personality? Hidden among the towering glass buildings of London's financial district lies a place that seems to exist outside of time. At first glance, Leadenhall Market feels almost too elegant to be real. Its richly painted ceilings, intricate ironwork, and beautifully preserved Victorian architecture create an atmosphere that transports visitors into another century. Yet step outside one of its ornate entrances, and you're immediately surrounded by some of Europe's most modern office towers. Few places illustrate London's ability to blend history and progress as effortlessly as this remarkable market. Leadenhall has served traders in one form or another for centuries, evolving alongside the city itself. Long before London's skyline was filled with iconic skyscrapers, merchants gathered here to exchange meat, poultry, and other essential goods that supplied a rapidly growing population. Although the products have changed over time, the market's role as a gathering place has remained surprisingly constant. Today, office workers share its walkways with tourists, photographers, and history enthusiasts, creating an unusual meeting point between London's commercial present and its historic foundations. Many visitors recognize Leadenhall without even realizing it. Its stunning architecture has appeared in films and television, proving that its timeless beauty continues to inspire storytellers around the world. But beyond its cinematic appeal lies something even more meaningful. Standing beneath its magnificent roof, surrounded by centuries of history and the energy of a modern financial capital, it's impossible not to appreciate how London has mastered the art of preserving its heritage while constantly looking toward the future. Some markets celebrate history, while others thrive on constant reinvention. Old Spitalfields Market manages to do both at the same time. Inside its spacious covered halls, independent designers display their latest collections only a few steps away from vintage dealers, artisan food vendors, and local creators. Every visit offers a different experience because the market itself is always changing, shaped by the people who bring their ideas through its doors each week. The neighborhood surrounding the market tells an equally fascinating story. For generations, people from different parts of the world settled in this area, bringing with them new traditions, languages, and businesses. Those influences remain visible today in everything from the nearby restaurants to the creative studios that have transformed the district into one of London's most dynamic cultural hubs. Rather than replacing the past, each new generation has added another layer to the neighborhood's identity. Walking through Old Spitalfields reveals something that many cities struggle to achieve. Innovation doesn't erase tradition. It grows from it. Young entrepreneurs build businesses alongside long-established traders, while visitors discover products that simply couldn't exist anywhere else. It's another reminder that London's greatest strength has never been standing still. Its identity continues to evolve because each generation leaves its own mark without erasing the stories that came before.